I was born in Glenwood Springs, Colorado, left in diapers. My family, my dad was a sailor and he was an inland sailor also. So out of moving from town to town and job to job, I had an older sister and an older brother and myself. I was born with a hole in my heart, and we never had money to have it operated on, so the doctor said it would grow together, and it did in about 8 years. So I used to pass out a lot. Mom said I was a really good baby. I would cry, turn red, and pass out. So I was a good baby. I was raised most of my life in Portland, Oregon, and went to John Marshall High School. It was a brand new school in 1961. Played football and wrestled, and I never knew anything about wrestling until my football coach told me that I will turn out for wrestling, and that's where my career began. When I was 2 years old, I acquired polio in my right shoulder girdle, arm, everything. It completely atrophied my tricep, my thumb, and made everything smaller, and it made it quite difficult. I learned how to use it, and I don't really believe at this point in time you can call it a handicap, and it actually, I think, probably helped me. I had to wrestle more with my body and my hips. Not having any real arm strength, I didn't tie up very much. I moved around a lot, shot, and I had to learn to get my hips in under tight and do a lot of lifting. Well, it took me 2 years to figure out my freshman, sophomore year how to wrestle, and I won the state championship my junior year and my senior year. Probably the key person in developing my attitude in wrestling was a guy named John Platt. He was an excellent coach, and he taught me endurance and taking the fight and the match and never quitting to your opponent. Wrestling is something that is such a tough sport and such a science that when you learn years and years after wrestling and learn to get in shape and how to handle yourself in a match competitively, I think after a while you learn that that's what you need to do in life too. You need to push, push, and push. Oklahoma State, the next level of wrestling. I remember going into the wrestling room the freshman year, first time you get in there, and there's all the new boys. Jay Robinson was one of them, and some of those old boys that were at Oklahoma State, Bill Harlow, Jack Briscoe, and Gerald Briscoe, the Keller brothers, Yojo, Utake, Tadaki Hata, they were all excellent wrestlers. So I learned from everybody, watching everybody.
Technique-wise, good coach, good mentor. You can always depend upon Fred to do the right thing.
Fred Fozzard was a tremendous wrestler, one of the only guys to beat Tom Peckham in a dual match when he was only I believe he was only a sophomore.
Gene and I roomed together, and basically Gene kind of took me under my wing, and as a freshman showed me a few things of what to do and how to handle myself, and I'll never forget him for that. Jerry Sherk played for the Cleveland Browns, and he was our heavyweight at Oklahoma State for a while. He was influencing on me. Yojo would come into the room, and he would always chew somebody out for not working hard enough. And I think in the old days in Japan, when they used to have the bamboo switch and hit them on the calves when they were not working or moving, he tried to develop over here too with all the incoming freshmen and whatnot. And it worked. He always said, every time you shoot a takedown, it should be like you're shooting a national championship takedown. Every time. Not just passively. In college too, like in high school, it takes you another couple years to get another level. And that was when it started going together for me. It was my junior year, and National championships didn't come. They come hard, you know, second, first, and third, and they scattered all out.
Fred Fozzard is the major factor for Oklahoma State winning the national title. You know, I hear about how he came back and he got his whole team rallied, and they wound up being Iowa State at the national champion. That's impressive.
My junior year, I wrestled Bradley from Michigan State, and I had already beat him one time. So when you're going into a match, sometimes when you've already beat somebody, it does help you out. You relax a lot more. And I had a good match, and my junior year, I won the championship. In high school, we had a cultural exchange trip my junior year that went to Japan. I made that trip with the best wrestlers out of Oregon, and one of them was Rick Sanders. And it was years later when we got to college that Rick and I ended up on the same world team again. And that was in Mar del Plata, Argentina. Rick had a great tournament. I had a great tournament. I wrestled an Iranian and a Russian, and I pinned them both. The Russian, I was ahead of by 1 point the whole match, and then at the end of the match, he come in again in a bear hug, and I salto belly to belly, took him over the top. And as soon as he hit his back, he actually quit because there was only 10 seconds left. So, and that was basically the end of the tournament. Wrestling has been my whole life from high school, from the 9th grade on. It was a tremendous experience in learning in high school, taking a cultural exchange trip to Japan, and getting better every year and seeing the results. The days at Oklahoma State and coaching there for a few years afterwards were the best times in my life, actually. The most memorable times and experiences in my life. The induction into the Hall of Fame is it for me. It is, I did not expect it. I am truly honored to be in the Hall of Fame. I'm anxiously looking forward to being there.